Babes?
Shake it, baby.
One-liners?
You should have ducked.
10 guns? This is Klingon Duke Nukem.
Today was a good day for you to die.
Hi, I'm Ben Kai, continuing on my journey to play through the trilogy of Klingon games. This time I'm playing Klingon Honor Guard, an Unreal Engine FPS game based on those ridge-headed aliens. Or non-ridge-headed aliens, depending on the era of Star Trek you're familiar with. In this game, you can play as either a male or female Klingon who has recently begun training under the titular Honor Guard. They are highly skilled warriors trained to protect members of the Klingon High Council. So, think like how the Secret Service is for the President of the US of A. You start off in a holodeck training mission only to be interrupted by news of an assassination attempt on Gowron and other members of the High Council. You remember Gowron, right? He's the Klingon with the big eyes. You get pulled from training and swear a blood oath to kill all those responsible for the assassination attempt. Along the way, Worf's brother Kern will advise you on mission objectives.
I am Kern, son of Mulg, and captain of the Hector.
They even got the Duras sisters to be in this game.
Surely not even Kern could have anticipated this. Kern.
Yet, surprisingly, Worf isn't in it. You'd think he'd be the obvious choice for a game like this.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Gameplay is pretty much your standard 90s FPS genre, complete with 10 weapons to fill out your keyboard's number row. Movement, however, feels sluggish, taking a second to build up some speed. Once you get going, though, you can run pretty fast, but strafing slows you down for some odd reason. You can also do a quick dodge jump by double tapping either strafing key, but I found it hardly useful.
Pity to come all this way just to die!
Map layouts are like a maze, with one samey brown corridor after another. And get used to seeing them, because you'll be backtracking down these corridors performing classic keycard hunting. Finally found where to use the card. Oh, come on, not another one! I got lost many times during my playthrough, and there were even a few times I couldn't locate the keycard at all. Luckily, this game also has a cheat console. Can't find keycard? Type Ghost and fly through the door. Enemies too hard? Type God. Not enough bullets? Type all ammo. If there's one thing I miss from old school games, it's that command. What was that? Was that a picture of Kalis? I'm serious, why did the game just throw a Klingon face at me? Was it because I used cheats? Comment if you all know why I'm getting jump scared by this Klingon dude. Sometimes the level design can surprise me, like these spacewalk sections. You can walk out onto the hull of a ship and do battle in space. Oh wow, that spinning body with the purple blood spilling out everywhere is a nice touch. Kinda reminds me of that Zero-G Klingon massacre from Star Trek VI. During your spacewalk, your spacesuit acts like armor, so if you take enough shots from enemies, you'll be exposed to space and eventually suffocate and float off into space. Grav boots hold your butt down to the hull, but if you're feeling cocky, like Picard in First Contact, you can deactivate them and try to fly to the other end of the ship. But if you screw up that landing, you'll be lost in space like that dude from the end of Firefly.
Well, here I am.
Interestingly, the game makes use of Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. Which basically means the recoil from weapons can be used as a means of propulsion. That is until you run out of ammo. And then you're kinda screwed. Again.
Well, here I am.
Most of the usable items are kinda useless. You can get some binocs for sniping, a remote camera for looking at yourself, and a communicator for calling reinforcements. That last one may seem beneficial, but I assure you, they are dumb. And don't do like I did and accidentally call them while in space. Well, it's not my fault you beamed over without a spacesuit. Okay, let's move on to the guns.
Next.
Any FPS game will either make or break itself by the guns they wield, and Klingon Honor Guard is no different.
Did that hurt, little Ferengi?
Melee weapons include classic Klingon blades, such as the Dakta and Batleth,
Tarjok food.
both of which can be thrown.
You should have stopped.
While cool looking, the melee strikes do the most damage per second. And since guns drain ammo quickly and is scarce throughout the game, you'll want to swap to melee for opening crates to conserve your precious ammo. What doesn't consume ammo though is the Disruptor pistol. It has infinite bullets, but needs time to recharge, which can leave you vulnerable. Primary fire shots are accurate, slow-moving green balls of energy that do little damage, while alt fire consumes 10 times more ammo per shot and does more damage, but is also very inaccurate. The Disruptor rifle is pretty much the same thing, except it has a much faster firing rate, but it uses that short supply of dilithium ammo, so conserve. Next you get the Disruptor shotgun, and is one of the better weapons in the game. It is essential in the early parts of the game. Primary fire is a weaker, longer range blast, while alt fire is a powerful, short range attack, and vaporizes them. Considering how enemies in this game dodge or attack so easily, I found myself running up the baddies and blasting them with the alt fire. Dodge this, you pitox! Which reminds me, whenever you want to use the alt fire of a gun, the game forces a reload animation of your gun. Then if you want to go back to using primary fire, nope, reload. This is a baffling design decision, and I guess I wouldn't have much of an issue with it, except that there's no way of knowing which mode you're on, except for when you go to click either button, and hope that's the mode that you're on. It can eat up precious time in the midst of battle, and can get you killed, many times. Strangely enough, the railgun doesn't do this for its alt fire, and it so happens it's like the best gun in the game. It's super accurate, fast firing, high damage, 25 shots per reload gun, and its alt fire uses up a whole 25 bullets for an all-powerful sniper shot. Even if you have only one bullet in the chamber, you can still fire it off.
The blood oath will be
Other guns include the cool-looking Ripsaw, which looks like something straight out of the Predator movies instead of Star Trek. It fires a single ricocheting blade. When it finds a target, then it grinds them up until they die. Pressing left click again will return the blade back to you. That does sound like the Predator disc blade. Right click does... Huh. Doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe it has to be airborne first, then try... Holy Kalis! Dabo? Guess I know why the game's rated M now. After that, you get your standard grenade launcher and rocket launcher. They pretty much function as they sound, but I can't for the life of me figure out what purpose the alt fire for grenades do. They seem to blind me and do nothing to enemies. So, totally useless, didn't use it. Alt fire rockets will send out these slow-moving tracking rockets. One strategy is to fire them down a corridor and see if they pick up any Klingons. Hey, it's got a lock on something. Why are they heading back? Uh-oh. Yeah, they can track you too. And the final weapon is the Honor Guard's BFG, a powerful blast that'll annihilate anything in its path. Because of its wide blast radius, it can be quite hard to use. Its alt fire is also quite interesting, but it's even harder to use. It lobs a gravitational well grenade that takes about 10 seconds before it detonates, then proceeds to suck anything not nailed to the floor into its center. After about 30 seconds of sucking, it explodes, killing everything within its deadly vortex, including you if you're not careful, and if you get sucked into it, you pretty much can't escape it, you're dead. Last thing I wanted to mention is the final boss, which I think may be bugged. When the mission loads, you're locked in place and you cannot move. The boss walks up, laughs, rockets you to death, then repeats itself in this Groundhog Day scenario. The only way I was able to beat it was to make a save when the level starts. Loading the save allows me to break free and run off to hide. Not sure why this is so, but that's what worked for me. As for killing the dude, he's pretty tough, but I used my gravity well on that BFG to suck him away from me while I braced myself on a wall, then fired away with a BFG blast. So Klingon Honor Guard is a decent game for old school shooter fans, but even more so if you're big into Star Trek like myself. Unfortunately, it's not available to buy anywhere digitally, and the rights to it are a mess. It currently has 1,874 votes on the GOG wishlist, and GOG has already secured the rights to several other Star Trek games. I have faith that the good folks over on GOG can make this happen. So if you'd like to see Klingon Honor Guard come to GOG too, go vote for it on their wishlist and share this video with everyone. Your friends, family, neighbors, random person on the street, and let's get interest built up enough to where this game can finally be played again. Kapla, fellow Goggledites!